This is Radar, Father and Table, coming at your notion of movie reviews and observations number 196. Due to issues this week, I only watched 5 movies instead of the 7. Hopefully that's what's going to be going forward because I'll be actually busy making money and doing things. So, the way I break it down is I watched 3 kind of boring-esque dramas, a kid's movie, and a comedy. So, first movie I watched was Among Wolves, where Trace Adkins, James Russo, and Tom Berninger are in the movie, and it's a Western where outlaws come to town and they get set up to take down this town. The sheriff becomes a puppet, and things go crap there, and everyone hates living there. And the mining company comes and kills the lazy miner, and Tom Berninger, who's the pastor, gives his money to these 2 women, and they're like, well, what are we going to do with this? Well, we got to run. And they find some people who are not good, but they're not bad, like outlaws, in Trace Adkins and his buddy, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll get you to safety, and you'll pay us whatever you want to, and then you can start your own lives. And of course, like in a lot of Westerns, people die, not everyone survives in the movie. It was pretty cool that Trace Adkins and his buddy were like a 2-man crew taking down all these quote-unquote crooked bad guys, even though they're bad, and it was fun to see them do that. And I can say Trace Adkins, compared to the Storm movie I watched with him and a few others in the last couple of years, being a country star and doing like a Western probably was his niche, because it doesn't mean a lot of talking and acting. You can just go bam, 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 shoot people and stuff and be a cowboy and stuff. That was pretty good. It wasn't the worst Western. It wasn't the best. Being an hour and 40-something minutes, it was okay. Number 2, I watched a movie called Euphoria, where they say it's a sci-fi movie, but the library here put a drama sticker on there, and also it was barely 140 minutes. And Judy Greer is a mom who's like a nurse, and she has a daughter, and her husband unfortunately dies in a drunk driving accident where he gets killed, and she can't go on with it. But he was like a scientist apparently, and his buddy was another scientist, but he's out there driving Uber and Lyft because I guess his skills didn't transfer over from where he lives, from the Middle East, and he makes a time machine, and they save the guy's life. And then the whole movie is, oh cool, our husband's back, but we screwed up the other person's life, so let's get involved with that person's life and their child and all these other things, right? And it just continues to go with how far they're going to go to fix things, to change little things in history before it completely gets destroyed. And they say, you know what, never mind. We'll just undo everything. And instead of her husband living, let's go save her husband's science partner's family before they were killed. And I was like, okay, cool. That was a waste of time. Judy Greer is, no offense, not a dramatic sci-fi actor, so it was okay. Then I watched Master Gardener with Joel Edgerton and Sigourney Weaver. And this one, you couldn't tell from this, like, what period of time it took place. But apparently it takes place present time, where he's in witness protection program, and his agent is, like, always checking in on him. And he works for Sigourney Weaver, who's rich. And she has this huge landed property with, like, all this plants and garden and stuff and fundraisers. And he's been there doing that for years, and he's so good at it. He's got his own team. They sleep together, which is weird. And then she's like, well, I don't know what's wrong with my sister, but she's worried about her granddaughter, and my grandniece died, and it's not a great situation. So why do you take her under his wing instead of her wing, even though it's her relative, and you teach her the trade? And then they get too involved and they sleep together. She kicks him off, but then her grandniece has a boyfriend or an ex-boyfriend that's in drugs and dealing, and it's all horrible and stuff, right? And what it turns into is he gets too involved, and he's supposed to be on, like, in witness protection program, and it calls a whole, like, situation where he's got to handle it, and the 2 of them are on their own together, and it was just it kind of went from, I thought, cool, he's a gardener, it's going to be kind of boring until too much drama and annoying stuff, that at least, like the other ones, they're barely an hour and 40-something minutes. This was an hour and 51 minutes with credits, but it was close to an hour and 40-something minutes. Then I watched 2 movies I think were the best ones I watched this week. The Weird Al Yankovic story, where if you were to tell me, okay, I watched some dramas. This is made by Funny or Die. So you know ahead of time it's not going to be super serious, like the Freddie Mercury movie being really true, but I wish that was a warning I had with Rocketman. But also, like the Elvis movie, Daniel Radcliffe does a very good job of playing Weird Al, even in it's a weird story, like a fiction, not the most true story, that it kind of wasted it, like Austin Butler's performance as Elvis in his movie when it's about Tom Hanks. So I got all these music parallel movies. And I'm not a huge Weird Al fan, so I'm like, cool. It would be cool to know if they would actually come out with a real story about him and learn more and more about it. But again, they make all these spoofs with, like, how he got to be famous and him dating Madonna, and Evan Rachel Wood is Madonna. Ray Wilson and Jack Black kind of actually look like the people they were playing. Weird Al was in the movie. I like that they had, like, a scene in the movie or throughout the movie where they got people to play other people, and it was all about, let's do impersonations, and that's pretty funny. So it's not the worst biopic, it's not the best biopic, but it was really funny, clever. His music is throughout it. It's an hour and 47 minutes. It abruptly ends, which was kind of annoying. But I liked it. It's something you put on and you actually want to sit down and enjoy the movie where you're not multitasking like I do. I just sat down and I enjoyed this movie. Go back and look up like all the actors that played specific roles in there. It was pretty good. Over dramatification, but again, that's what it is, and I liked it. And then the last movie I watched was called Under the Boardwalk, where Keke Palmer is a sea crab. Michael Cera is a very erratic crab, where he's like, I don't like the water, I don't want to go out, I don't want to socialize, I miss my parents. And the little worm inside of his shell, which is played by Ron Funches, is always encouraging him. It's like the Jersey Shore, so they got the Jersey accent, and they're like, it's our turf, and they got clubs and everything. And Russell Brand's playing the bad guy of the British crab that's a sea crab. Bobby Cannavale and like John Radinsky, one of my favorite comedians, are playing like the crabs that are on his side. Steve Van Zandt from Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band plays a crab, so you got to look up the full cast list. But you're like, huh, that person was played by that. So all the mess is about like, yes, you're a sea crab and you're a land crab, but you guys should work together because of course you care about the others, each crab. You care about Sarah's crab and Keke Palmer's crab, and you're like, we got to band together like to save the day. And there's a lot of singing, dancing, musicals in number. So it's like a typical children's movie. And again, barely an hour and like 20 minutes. It's probably an hour, 16 or 17 minutes. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I was thinking like, this is going to be stupid because I'm not a huge Keke Palmer fan. But again, in spite of her, I really enjoyed this movie. That's more because Michael Cera was perfectly casted as this crab. And you get Radinsky, Van Zandt, and Bobby Cannavale. And I thought it was Dave Franco, but someone sounded like Dave Franco, so it was pretty good. Russell Brand, I liked it. So overall, Under the Boardwalk, great kids movies. Watch it with your kids, their sing-along, and Weird Al was really good. I don't know what to do with Gaster Gardner and Euphoria because they kind of went off the rail, and Among Wolves was an average Western. But again, thank you for listening to another show of Movie Motivation number 196 for Under Tay Blog. I'm Raider. I'll see you guys next time.